And welcome back to the Heartland. We are talking F1 75, which was live at the O2, I think, at the time of recording yesterday. Yeah, I finished a bit later work, but I did manage to watch it, and I thought it was quite the spectacle. Oh, going in, I was thinking, oh, this is going to be pure cringe like they did, for example, at Las Vegas a couple of years ago, or sometimes like they've done at the Circuit of the Americas. And it actually wasn't, to be fair. So, let's talk about F1 75. And there we go, I'm basically jumping on the Facebook page for Formula One with all their, let's be fair, absolutely amazing photos. This is obviously the first one. This is most of the drivers, not all, obviously, your Liam Lawson's, your Max Verstappen, your Charles Leclerc. No McLaren, there's no McLaren drivers at the forefront, but there's Lewis Hamilton there. I can see Kimi Antonelli there. So yeah, it was just really nice to see. Essentially, to see all the drivers. So let's go through. So, this was the State Sauber team. Ollie Behrman. Who's that? Colapinto? No, it's Jack Doohan. Fingers crossed for Jack Doohan in Australia. Come on, Jack. We know you can do it. Please. Okay, so from Jack Doohan, moving on there. More drivers. Obviously, Liam Lawson. Wow, the pressure is very certainly, I think, on him straight away. Max knows it, doesn't he? I'm sure Yuki's not that short. I really hope he's sitting down. And there we go. That's obviously another lovely photo of Leclerc, Verstappen, and he actually might be that short. How tall is Yuki? And here was the arena. This is right at the end, which was really good. There, piece de la résistance. Yeah, I probably messed up my French there completely. But what I thought was really nice was all the F1 cars all together. Brilliant. Loved it. Really good. Not cheesy at all. There they all are. And we did see them one by one. Some of the teams, I'm assuming, did a better job than the others. I imagine they were allowed their own expression to do their own thing. Appreciate they had a time slot. I really enjoyed State Sauber thing, but we'll get into it in a bit. So this is the McLaren team. This is the McLaren team. And let's be fair, nearly all of these cars, not much of a livery change, slightly different design. So I don't know why we're cheering that much. I guess it was a nice event. I think 20,000 at the O2 Arena. Should they do it again? We'll get into that. Yeah. So this was at McLaren. Yeah. So if we're going to rate McLaren's livery out of 10, I am going to give it an 8. An 8. Yeah, I thought it was really good. The only reason why, it kind of looks the same, but it really works. And it is one of the nicest looking cars on the grid. Definitely an 8 there. I'm trying not to be too biased. But here's the Ferrari. So, I would have given the Ferrari a 10 if, and here's the big if, we didn't have that. The sash. The sash as if it's going out on its either its prom night or its hen night. Minus the white bit, so they just had the blue logo but kept the whole thing red. Chef's kiss. Beautiful, but they didn't. So I'm giving it a 7. It would have got a 10 though. Would have got a 10. No doubt the Ferrari livery would have got a 10. Really good, obviously, to see Lewis there. He was one of the most cheered people there, possibly along with Lando Norris and the McLaren team. Yes, British crowd, you are going to get British prize. Just like if you were in Germany, you'd get the German bias. If you were in Holland, you'd get the Holland bias for Max Verstappen, etc., yada yada yada. But yeah, so it does look. I like the livery of the Ferrari. It's just a bit of a shame that it's not all red. It's just the sash and the white bits upset me. I'm sorry, Hewlett Packard. The blue thing doesn't bother me as much as the white. Sorry, yeah. Oh, from that view, it almost looks like a slightly more red version of the Alfa Romeo we had a few years back. But anyway, I digress. IBM, very good sponsor. They're getting that in there. So I think that is actually the Ferrari car. They launched that, didn't they? Not pretty much straight after they showed the pictures. It looks nice. We can't really tell too much. Let's wait until testing. But there's there's loads of photos. But here's the Red Bull. Yeah, it is a Red Bull. They're never going to change their livery, are they? They're going to change it up somewhat. If you look at it through the years, particularly from 2005, it has changed. Recent years, not particularly much, except they've kind of gone a lot more. But except Red Bull kind of got a lot more matte. So, Red Bull livery out of 10, I'm going to give it a 6. It looks nice. It does its job. Just not that exciting anymore in terms of new livery. But hey, if you're a Red Bull fan, you know that's a Red Bull car straight away. So Mercedes, I really like the silver and black. I think it does go really well together. The sleek, it looks very sleek with what they've done with the black. I don't know if I prefer the whole thing silver though. This is the thing. So Mercedes, the livery, 7 out of 10, I guess, if we're going to rate it. But yeah, I think it looked nice. Both George Russell and Kimi Antonelli came out to give their speeches. And yeah, it was all right. It wasn't too bad, was it? When I say speeches, I mean like one word. I mean, that's one of the criticisms I had of F175 was the fact that they didn't have enough of the drivers involved. The drivers did not speak enough. The team owners spoke a bit. They were interviewed. I think we wanted more from the drivers. The dancing, the stuff in between was nice, maybe a bit too long. The length, I think, for the whole thing was good. I don't really think you wanted it more. Could you have had it earlier? Maybe. Because bear in mind, Europe isn't normally an hour ahead of the UK, so it would have been very late in Europe. But I imagine for like America and the rest of the world, maybe it was the perfect time thing. I digress. Quickly going back to the Red Bull team. Yeah. What was interesting was Christian Horner was, I think, a tiny bit booed. But then again, Red Bull, let's be fair. Red Bull are the pantomime villains, especially if you're in the UK. Bearing in mind, you've got Lewis Hamilton, and they were recently against Lando Norris, and all the shenanigans that went on, particularly Mexico and Austria. So I kind of understand there. But Mac was still very much cheered. Horner was kind of cheered a bit, kind of like a bit booed. Is it because of that statement that what happened this time last year? And then the WhatsApp gate? I don't know. I don't think people have completely forgotten, even though Horner was absolutely, he was. There were no issues with Horner. Innocent he was, and it is innocent until found guilty. So from the Mercedes, we are going back now to the Aston Martin. I really like their James Bond thing. That was best music they used for Aston Martin. Absolutely fantastic. As did the Red Bull for what was Diddy's favourite song, and Christian Horner explained that. I thought that was lovely. But going to the Aston Martin, yeah. But then again, you've got Fernando Alonso and some other guy that drives for them. Hopefully, I'm sorry, I can't. This was the Alpine, albeit it, once again in the pink. It just looks like a racing point, doesn't it? With the BWT sponsorship, looks really good. Obviously, we had Ocon and Doohan. It was nice to see Doohan. Is this the last time we're going to see Doohan? I wonder. No, he's going to be in Australia and a few races yet. I'm hoping he does really well. I'm most certainly going to have my fingers crossed for Mr. Doohan. So yeah, the BWT. I think the pink thing. I prefer the pink. Do I? Yeah, I think I prefer the pink to the other one, especially the pink with it. It stands out. It does clash. Bear in mind, I've never been quite the artist. I probably would have failed if I did that. I see that. But I think it looks nice in that picture. Let's get the Haas. The Alpine livery. Yeah, sorry. If I'm going to rate it, I'm going to give it another 6. I think it looks good. It's not that good, though. But, yeah, that's the Alpine. But the Haas, I think this Haas looks really nice. I think the Haas looks a lot nicer than last year. They've kind of swapped the black and white around in a weird way, and it pops a lot more. You can see the carbon fibre there. Brilliant. Haas livery, 8. Yeah, 8 out of 10. Easy. One of the best... One of the best liveries along with the McLaren. You got the American flag on there. I really like the look of it. The sponsors. It doesn't look like it's not MoneyGram. They've got MoneyGram. It doesn't look as many sponsors as I'd like for the Haas team. Bear in mind how good they ended up doing last year, if you remember. But a really nice looking car. So there they are, 31 and 87. Nice. Except, here we go. Yeah, so this I thought was beautiful. This is what I think the Red Bull team should look like, personally. This is the V-carb, and I think the white really, I mean, normally I think white, you think boring, but these days carbon fibre is boring because all the teams are doing it. But I think, yeah, this was 8.5 out of 10. The nicest livery, I think, out of all of them. I know I said nice livery a lot, but this, most certainly the nicest looking car out of all of them. It looks absolutely gorgeous in that white, in that cash app. I think it's matte. I'm not too sure. It looks like it is, if I'm honest. But yeah, beautiful. In terms of their drivers, I can't help but feel for Yuki Tsunoda. A lot of people still feel that he should be in the Red Bull over Liam Lawson. If I was in charge, I probably would have done that. Although, either way, I can see Liam Lawson being there, but I think you're putting Liam under so much pressure. But that's another chat for a pre-season Formula One. The Williams looks nice. It looks a bit darker than it did last year. In terms of out of 10, I'm giving it a 6, average. Not bad. Alex Albon, Carlos Sainz. I was talking to one of my friends on the WhatsApp. He seemed to think Sainz is going to wipe the floor with Alex Albon. I think that's the general consensus, but I'm not so sure. This is going to be the biggest test, though, for Alex Albon, which is going to be fantastic. I can't wait. Also, at Lassian, I think that's how you pronounce it, it's really good to see a new title sponsor for Williams. I do believe they're on the up. In terms of finishing last, once again, that's one for the season preview and after testing, but I don't think Williams will be the team that will be finishing last. I'm really happy for them. James Vowles did a really, really good speech. I think he did one of the best speeches out there for all the team's bosses. And I love James Vowles. Who doesn't dislike the guy? And this, once again, I think this was 7 out of 10. I really like the state livery. I know people think it's a bit sick with that green, but I think it works really well. Now, it works really well in the context of particularly night races when the lights are shining off. It looks gorgeous, I think. And it really stands out. From that second, you know absolutely what team it is on seeing the green. It looks nice. Audi, it'd be interesting. Audi next year, it's not going to look like that, is it? So this is going to be the last year where we're going to have the mean green back of the grid machine. Sadly, probably. Hopefully not. Hopefully they can score more points than they did last year. Fingers crossed. But overall, I thought the F175 was indeed a success. Maybe they need to mix it up a bit. Could they do it next year? Yes. Would I look forward to it? Absolutely. But the negative thing that comes from it is I don't think the drivers and the team's got enough time. And it takes away the special 2-week lead up to testing where all the teams have their own launch day. Some do share it, but on that particular day, in that particular moment, it is all about the team. It is all about Williams, Mercedes, Red Bull, Ferrari, McLaren, Stake, Haas, RB. It's all about them on the day with all the news coming out and all the F1 nerds like myself looking at the pictures and seeing all the articles. And that's one thing I kind of lack. Maybe I'd like to see this before testing, like a pre-season celebration where they have all the cars and the interviews, for example, rather than the first time we see the livery, which gives each of the teams a bit of a moment. Because I'm not saying Lewis Hamilton overshadowed the whole event, but a lot of people, I imagine, tuned in to see Lewis Hamilton and the new Ferrari livery, obviously with Charles Leclerc and the new McLaren. And that's the issue there. You've got a few favourites, everyone tuning in, and then you kind of maybe miss a few things. And when you have separate launches, you really don't if you are a hardcore F1 fan. But I thought it was a really nice event. Going in, I thought it was going to be absolutely rubbish, if I'm honest. I was like, this is going to be a joke. It wasn't. And I'm really happy for it. I thought, yeah, brilliant. Thank you very much, Formula One. You've done something right. Now, my favourite moment, though, didn't come from any of the particular liveries, as awesome as a lot of them looked. It was the minute they mentioned the FIA about what was it, a 1.5 hour into the field or something like that, halfway-ish, and they did a bit about the marshals, and the volunteers, which was great. And then they mentioned the FIA, and the whole crowd booed, which is really interesting because it tells you how everyone feels about the FIA. So when they show the FIA logo, quite rightly, everyone booed. They deserved it. They deserved it 110%. The booing. Absolutely, they did. So well done, crowd. And you can tell they're obviously a lot of hardcore F1 fans there, because bear in mind with the FIA, the governing body of Formula One that sets the rules. I guess you've got to be at least a casually hardcore fan to know that, and there probably were a bunch of hardcore fans plus to going to that event. Music to my ears, because it showed the contempt, the contempt. I think a lot of people, maybe contempt is too strong, that we currently have for the FIA, and and some of their decisions. But other than that, brilliant. And I'm not saying the FIA don't do a good job. When you look at, we did a video the other day about the way they help grassroots motorsports and other things that where the money does go to really good causes. It's just they're really, really inconsistent, and some of their rules are a bit silly. Now, obviously, Gordon Ramsay agrees with it as well. Once again, I don't think you should swear in an official public forum, in an official press conference. I get it, you shouldn't swear. But I don't think in the first instance, at the very least, it really shouldn't be a fine. That's kind of sad. You're treating him like kids. Anyway, if you made it to the end, please give us a subscribe. That would be absolutely fantastic. If you're not subscribed, just clicking on this video is more than enough for us. But if you want to do a bit more, hit that like button. And yeah, comment below. Let us know what you think about F175. And until then, thank you very much. Thank you for watching as well. Speak to you soon. And above all else, stay safe. Unfortunately, I've hit the subscribe button again rather than the outro button, so stay safe. There we go.